Three big changes have just been implemented as of January 1st in our real estate market. In today's video, I'm going to explain exactly what they are and how they're going to affect real estate prices. Real quick, if this is your first time to the channel, my name is Hassan. I'm a real estate agent in the Vancouver area, and I make educational real estate content as well as content to help you make your move to the Vancouver area. If that sounds interesting to you, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss a future video. But without wasting any time, let's get rolling. So number one, the foreign buyer ban. Big keys with the foreign buyer ban is it's a national ban, so it runs right across the country. It's for a 2-year time period, and it only is effective on residential real estate, so not commercial real estate purchases. Now, there are some exclusions to the ban, which I'll talk about in a second here, but the thing to understand with the foreign buyer ban, or how we can gauge whether this is actually going to have effect on real estate prices, is we have to think about what we are actually banning here. So from a percentage perspective, foreign buyers in BC made up about 1% of transactions in 2021. There's often a confusion between foreign ownership and foreign funds, so foreign money that enters the market versus who's actually on title of the property. So about 1% of owners on title of property are foreign owners in BC. Foreign capital, foreign funding, however, there's obviously a larger percentage of that, if you will, that does enter to the province. So we're looking at a scope of 1%. When we look at real estate prices, this is not going to have any effect on the real estate market, just based on that small percentage that we're actually targeting with the foreign buyer ban. We can look at other countries that have done something similar. In 2018, New Zealand implemented a foreign buyer ban, and since then their real estate prices have just continued to go up. So not likely to have an effect on the real estate market, real estate prices. Sounds good in the media that this is actually going to make a difference to the real estate, pricing or whatnot. Now, the exclusions that I talked about, this has been kind of that big elephant in the room, if you will, where there are significant exclusions to this ban. For example, foreign workers, international students, but only recently did we get the details on these exclusions, and they are restrictive in nature themselves. So what I mean by that is, if you're an international student, you have to show that you have been here for the past 5 years, and you can't purchase real estate upwards of $500,000. And in our market, that doesn't get you very much. If you're a foreign worker, I believe the requirement is 3 years. You have to be here for the past 3 years with no dollar amount restriction. But when this ban was first announced, we just heard general terms that students were going to be exempt, foreign workers were going to be exempt. So a lot of people thought that these were gaping loopholes. They are tighter loopholes. They're still there. There's still ways to get around the ban, but they're much tighter. Number two is the anti-flipping tax. So this is a provincial change made by David Eby, who's the BC Premier. And essentially what this is anyone that purchases real estate and sells that same piece of real estate within a period of a year will be charged at a business taxable rate, which is 100% of the profit. So if you make, for example, $100,000 in this type of a scenario, that $100,000 is going to be treated as income on your taxes. Myself personally, I don't love this tax. There are exclusions to this as well. So if there's a significant change that happens in your life, insolvency, loss of employment, there's a couple others as well. So if there's a significant change, then you're not going to be subject to it. I still don't love this tax. I understand what the province was trying to guard against, was people purchasing property, allowing it to appreciate without adding any value to that property, and then making a profit that they didn't have to pay tax on. So I get it. I'm kind of okay with it being treated as business income. The big hole that I saw was, someone who's purchasing a piece of property in order to fix it up because it's not livable today. It's not actually a housing unit that people can live in. So someone purchasing that, fixing it up, and then selling it. I didn't want to see that type of a buyer, that type of a contractor, for example, who may take on a project like that. I didn't want to see them penalized for taking an unlivable unit or an undesirable unit to live in, fixing it up, making it nice and turnkey for a new buyer. So I'm okay with it. Don't love it. Do I think it's going to affect the real estate market? No. And number three, and this is probably one of the ones that's going to have some of the most impact on the real estate market, is the 3-day rescission period. It's also referred to as a cooling off period. Essentially what this means, the best way that I can explain it, is there are no longer subject-free offers. Subject-free offers are gone. Even if you write a subject-free offer on a property, you will have 3 business days to change your mind and to walk away. Now, if you are to walk away during this rescission period, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you 0.25% of the purchase price. So you can't walk away without any sort of penalty. However, even if you write a no subject offer, you have those 3 days. Now you're still able to write an offer with subjects, for example, a financing subject or a home inspection subject. You can still do that. You'll still have 3 days to walk away for any reason you like, again, having to pay that penalty, however, and your subject period, you'll still have whatever subject period you've negotiated into your offer. Now, this one's a bit more tricky to assess how this is going to affect the market. Obviously, like I mentioned off the top, no subject offers are now essentially off the table. In today's market, 9 times out of 10, offers are written with subjects, especially in this financial climate where financing can be a little bit trickier than it was before. So you're very, very often seeing a financing subject in there anyway. So I think in a slower, more balanced market like we're in today, it's not really going to have an effect. I like the premise behind, I understand the premise behind it because I work with a lot of buyers myself, and in a frenzied market, people are making 6-figure decisions in 5 minutes or less. And that goes, what I mean by that is when you're writing an offer, sometimes you're given a very short amount of time to counter, to raise your price, to pay more than you maybe ever thought you were going to pay for a home. So I understand the premise. The timing's a little bit interesting. I really hope we don't see a scenario where buyers are walking away during this rescission period, but then they're tough to chase down to get that rescission penalty for the seller. Now, there are ways that we can sculpt offers, etc., to make sure that doesn't happen, but it just leaves a little bit of potential for a back and forth in that regard. So do I think this is going to affect real estate prices? No. Do I think it's going to affect today's current market? No. Do I think it helps buyers in a frenzied market? Yes. Do I think it helps sellers at all? No. So there you have it, guys. Those are the 3 major changes that have been implemented as of January 1st. This was a rough breakdown. There's obviously more details to these changes as well. So if you have any questions on those, you can reach out to me anytime. Put a comment below or even call or text me. I can help you out. Also, if you got any value out of this video, it'd be so awesome if you could hit the like button, because what that does is it sends the video out to more people so they can learn as well. If you're in the Vancouver area and you need real estate help yourself, I'd love to help you out. Reach out to me direct. All my contact info is in the description box below. But outside of that, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful 2023 and take care.